This is the Plain English Real Estate Show with your host, Rowena Patton, a show that focuses on the real estate market in terms you can easily understand. Call Rowena now. The number is 240-9962 or 1-800-570-9962. Now here's the English girl in the mountains, the agent that I would trust, Rowena Patton.
Good morning and welcome to the Christmas Eve show. I love doing holiday shows. I'm so excited.
I am too. I like it too.
Isn't it funny? What is it we like about it? Everybody else is like, oh, I don't want to do it because it's Christmas. Oh.
I've thought about that, and I think it's something to do with the psyche involved in being in a padded room on a holiday. You know, a padded room.
That's a bad thing or a good? Oh, maybe it's a good thing.
It's
You're
a
right.
good thing.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
I feel right at home.
Well, it's also the energy, I think. You know, the energy, you're just taking it back up, Randy. Thank you. Yeah, we're in a padded room together. That's what's fun about it. But we do this every single week. We've been doing it for 11 years, Randy.
I know, and I never get tired of it. I always enjoy, and especially at holiday time. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's
Merry Christmas.
Christmas Eve, and it's cold, and Santa is going to fly through the skies tonight, clear skies, unobstructed. It's going to be very cold. He's going to love it. Right now, up on Mount Pisgah, it is 5 degrees below zero.
What?
Up on Grandfather Mountain,
What?
it is 14 below zero.
No.
And on the highest peak east of the Mississippi, on Mount Mitchell, it is 9 degrees below zero.
It can't be.
It's true.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen temperatures this. I've been here for a very long time. I mean, I've been in the US now this will be my 28th year, but I've been here for, I think, 17 of those. And I don't think I've seen temperatures this low.
Okay, you're talking to a weather geek here.
I know, that's why I'm saying it.
In mid-80s, 1985, in January 1985, Asheville, North Carolina airport temperature was 16 below zero.
Oh. That was before I was born. Just kidding. It was just a few years after.
So we had a really, really, really cold snap in the mid-80s. In the mid-80s, we had several winters there that had extremely cold temperatures. So this is not record-breaking cold that we have right now, although it feels like it. It's 3 degrees right now here at Frosty Radio Ranch.
3 degrees. I've got a T-shirt on. I've got a sweater dress. I've got the big sweater over the top.
4.
And then I've got leggings on, and then I've got my fur-lined Uggs on.
4 layers.
And I'm not putting a big coat. You know, the problem with the season right now is everybody's running around doing last-minute shopping. Yesterday, well, not everybody. Some of you are organized. Yesterday and today. And, you know, the shops are warm because the temperature's so low, they've turned the temperatures up. So you go in all dressed for the weather, and the wind chill is what's really doing it out there.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't bring that up. It's way down there.
Yeah, so come on, weather geek. What's the wind chill? Yeah, maybe don't tell us. Yes, everybody that's listening that's dying to move to the mountains. Well, just so you know, it's not normally this cold.
Exactly.
It's very rare.
Very rare.
There's no snow on the ground.
Right.
There's very little ice that I saw this morning.
Right.
Maybe I was driving too quickly to notice it. I'm not really sure.
While doing a Facebook video. No.
Well, no, I wasn't doing that.
No,
I would never do that. I do them in the car, though, because the light's so good.
Right. And the sound and the audio.
Oh,
yeah.
the audio, because you're in a little box. For any of you that do anything promotional on videos, everybody's going, oh, no, we don't even look at Facebook or Instagram or all that stuff. But any of you who do, the car, Randy is the producer here, Randy Houston. We've worked together for many, many years. I'm in a studio right now that has carpet-lined walls. So the sound doesn't bounce, I guess, Randy. Is that why?
That's exactly right.
So a car acts in a similar way.
Exactly.
What about if it's got leather seats?
Well, they're still soft. They're still not a hard surface that will create a bounce of sound. And
I see.
That bounce is what gives you the echo of a hollow, empty room, and you're trying to avoid that. And the cars, there's a lot of soft surfaces in there. There's also a lot of hard surfaces, the window glass. You notice in our studios here, the window glass is angled from.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, yes, so it is.
You see that now. That's to prevent bounce.
Oh, gosh.
Boom. The angle of
Who
the
knew?
bounce. Yeah.
So we're getting an education on bouncing sound today. So go if you're going to do any of those videos, even if you're sending a video to someone you love, and that's the topic of our show today. If maybe there's somebody you can't be with this Christmas, Hanukkah's still going on as well. They're overlapping this year. And has Festivus started yet, or is that next week? I'm not sure either. Well, all these holidays that are going on anyway, and who cares? We do that all year round. Give a shout out to someone, 828-240-9962. You're probably thinking, oh, well, they're in Arizona or they're serving in San Diego or something like that. Well, they can listen live to your shout out, realestateenewsradio.com. realestateenewsradio.com. I've got the link there to listen live. All the previous shows are on there as well. So if you feel like diving through all kinds of topics, what the market's doing this year, all that kind of thing. Most radio shows, live talk shows at least, aren't live today. They're all recorded. However, Randy and I love to do the holidays. So here we are. We're actually live today, Saturday, December 24th. I'd like to give you the time at none of these clocks ever work. 10:12 this morning. Can you believe it's 12 minutes past 10 already? I have to admit I am doing a little last minute shopping today. This week has been absolutely nuts because we just did a relaunch on CPOexperts.com around the country. And we were thinking that one or two agents would be interested. Well, now we have 350 zip codes covered around the country.
Fantastic.
I also did 3 listing appointments last week. There's a lot of people that are getting ahead of the curve. So if that's you, give us a call, 828-240. No, I'm giving you the radio. You could call in on the radio too. 828-333-4483. Give us a call. We have people standing by 24/7. If you don't want to talk to a pesky person on the other side of the phone because you're talking to enough people this holiday season, you can go to mountainhomehunt.com, mountainhomehunt.com, click on contact us, and there you go. And you can always look up Rowena Patton. I'm all over the internet, unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not really sure which. I come up about 68,000 times, and I am not joking.
Are you serious?
Just go search me, it'll tell you.
Wow.
It's nuts. Because we've done a lot of promotion over the years for all the many homes that we've sold. We're at something like 4,000 transactions at this point. There's a lot of families we've helped get into homes. A lot of divorcing couples help to get out of homes too. And people who've lost their families, we do a lot of estate sales and help you through those as well. So if you are thinking of listing in the spring, I want you to go ahead and start looking at your values. I have a new great site for sellers. It's called allstarsellers.com. Real easy to remember, allstarsellers.com. You can choose your commission rate on there, and then you can go ahead. It's not just a valuation site, so it doesn't just say, put in your address and here's your value. It allows you to tweak that value based on the rooms that you put in. So it'll say things like, and it's just a little slider bar. It's really cool. How modified is your kitchen? How updated is your kitchen? And you can slide the bar from worst to best. And then it'll say your owner's suite, and then it'll say your bathroom. And there's like any of the rooms that you've put in, it asks you how up to date they are. It also asks you how great your pool is, which, you could do that anywhere in the country. It will work anywhere in the country. And now I'm pleased to announce we have a certified pre-owned agent for you, most likely anywhere in the country. We've got over 300 zip codes covered. It's been a remarkable week. With zip codes, you do have to check that whether they're taken or not already. It's quite a lengthy process, let's just say it that way. So I've been pretty busy this week. So I'm doing my Christmas shopping today. I'm sorry, guys. I will get you something, though. That's for sure. So if you are thinking about listing, you can kick it off. You don't have to live in the mountains. Allstarsellers.com. Allstarsellers.com. Remember, if you're thinking about the spring, I'm not going to call you and make you have an appointment or come out or waterboard you or put thumb screws on you or anything else, I promise. But it is a good start. There are things that we do in Certified Pre-Owned. It's a great idea to get the inspection done. That will give you about 8 weeks at this point. Can you believe it's that short a time? 8 weeks to do any of the nitpicky little things that you need to do. On average, when we get the inspection back, it's more like over 40 items, honestly. Many of them are nitpicky. That gives us time to notate everything on the inspection report. You don't have to do anything. You can just disclose it. Or you can pay $200 or $300 to a handy person to do the vast majority of those nitpicky little things. Or if you're handy or know someone that's handy, you can do it yourself. It's usually things like a classic one is cork along the back of a bathroom sink, or your cabinet door's not shutting quite right, or what's another one? Moisture in your basement. It will say, vapor trails or something like that. And we have Sharon on the line. Good morning, Sharon. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I am blessed this morning. I woke up early this morning to no power. And it's 5 degrees in Hendersonville. And I received a text from Duke Power saying that, yes, your power is out. It should be restored by 11:45 p.m. tonight. I'm thinking, no, I have to cook. It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry.
Well, they got on the ball, and they've restored my power. And I just wanted to give a shout-out to those guys because they do such an awesome job out there in this cold weather.
Sharon, I thought you were calling in to say, what the heck, our power's out. It's Christmas Eve. And you're calling in to give a shout. How lovely is that? And you know what? So many of us complain when things are going badly, right? We're the first to complain. Where's my beer? I've been waiting for 10 minutes. Where's our food? We're waiting. Like, we all complain all the time. And why am I waiting in this big long line? Oh, that's because you're an idiot like me and you waited till Christmas Eve to do your Christmas shopping, which is very rare for me. However, we're so slow to say thank you and great job. And oh my gosh, so you're saying, did you get any of their names this morning?
I did not. But I know all these guys are really on the ball. They've been out there working hard, and I just admire all them and the first responders and everybody that's out there that has to work on days like this.
Absolutely. And yeah, let's give a big shout out to all our first responders. You're right. We have many first responders that listen to the show. And how do I know that? Because we do Homes for Heroes, and we give a discount for police, fire, educators, healthcare professionals, and veterans, and a lot of them listen to the show. So big shout out to you if you're out there in the cold today having to do your job. And Sharon, I think it's just so lovely that you called in to Randy. We should clip this little piece, and Duke Energy would pay for it, because how many people call in to Duke and say, "Great job, guys"?
You're right. Thank you, Sharon. Very nice
Absolutely.
of you to do. Yeah, and
thank you.
What are you cooking now that the power's back on? What are you cooking today?
Well, I have sausage balls. I have a special recipe for stuffed shells they call it lasagna stuffed shells, because it's 2 layers. It's not just the cheese mixture in the bottom, but it's like a spaghetti mixture on top.
Oh, Sharon, I need to talk to you off air.
You know what, Sharon? He lives north. I live in Hendersonville, so I'm going to drop by and see you.
You do that.
All right, darling. Merry Christmas. You have a wonderful time. To you and yours. Thank you.
Bye.
I didn't think I'd get a lump in my throat and feel so heartwarmed that Sharon is there saying thank you to Duke.
It is cold, man. It's cold. Those guys are climbing up on. I know it's cold, and thank you so much. And there are a number of people across the state of North Carolina who are without power, so there's a lot of those crews out working.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yes, really. It wasn't what I was expecting when I did the show topic of call in and give a shout out to somebody you can't be with this Christmas, or somebody that's done something amazing for you this year. Let's hear it and give a shout out. 828-240-9962. You can give them a shout out in a different state. They can listen live anywhere in the country. It's all syndicated through Fox. And that is realestateenewsradio.com. realestateenewsradio.com. You can also find we've helped for sale by owners for a very long time, people who are selling their own home. We've been helping you for, many years now. And we used to do it have you put your details in on a spreadsheet and link to that at realestateenewsradio.com. You can see the FISBOs on there that are available. Now it links to a different place. We have a great new seller site. Anybody that's selling a home, allstarsellers.com. You can choose, when you look at the commission rates, there'll be one that's free for sale by owners. It really is vastly superior to anything else you can do as a for sale by owner. You can upload your pictures there. We'll promote you. A link is going out to you on our radio show every Saturday. We'll also promote you out to all the buyer's agents out there. If you're working with buyer's agents, you can actually put that in there. But it is far superior, and we'll help you with it as well. So you want to get your details in there. We do it today for next week. We do this every single week, but you can see the for sale by owners at realestatenewsradio.com at the link on there. You can see all of our listings on there as well. You can see previous shows on there if you're looking for particular topics. The main topic right now is I'm not going to sell my house because the interest rates have gone up. And buyers are saying, I'm not going to buy a house because interest rates have gone up. Well, interest rates actually just went down. And they're all over the place. And the thing is, you marry the house and date the interest rate. You can change it. I sound like one of those agents who are going, go buy a house. Someone sent me a little meme yesterday that said, hold off on buying a house. I honestly, I don't understand it.
You don't see that, huh?
No. So the great, the thing is, if you own a house and you're selling it and then buying another house, it's nuts to wait. Because yes, we've already crested the peak, so you're going to get a little bit less than you would have 6 months ago. However, the house that you're buying, most likely anywhere in the country at this point, this is happening all over the country, it's the same way. And you're probably not buying it for 2 years. You're probably buying it for 7 years or more. If that's the case, then statistically, since 10 years ago? No, since 1860 when good old Clement Juglar put it in place, statistically, you're going to be higher than you're going to be now. So if you wait, you'll find it much more of a struggle to sell your house in 6 months' time or in the spring or whenever you're waiting until. And so you're like, oh, yeah, the house price is going to be lower. Well, no, yes, and the price of your house is going to be lower when you sell it. So an absolute killer strategy right now would be, and we do this all the time, by the way. When I sold my house a couple of years ago, I got out ahead of the curve because honestly, my entire life since I've been here in 1996, I've almost been caught at the crest, and there've been two since then, really. One was around that time. I'm thinking like 2001, something like that, because I'd bought a house in DC and it was absolutely nuts at the peak. And then, of course, we had around 2006. So that was a short cycle. We only had 7 years there. This one's been more like a 13-year cycle, and now we've crested. It's normal. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So I wasn't trying to beat the curve this time around. So I got out a couple of years ago, and what happened was I took a bit less. I obviously took less for my house then than I would have taken 6 months ago. So I got out 18 months ahead of the peak. However, the next house that I bought has increased dramatically. So it doesn't matter. The next house I bought has increased dramatically. And I got out of that big house that I was paying a big mortgage on. And honestly, I didn't need any more. I went through a divorce, sadly. And I'd stuck in that big mortgage and I'd stuck in the house because you just don't know what to do when you're in that situation. And, finally I sold it and moved on to my new house, which has increased in value. So it all washes out in the end is the point.
Yeah. That's a good example right there.
Yeah, and it's my own example.
Yeah.
Not only that, people are saying, don't buy. And you're listening to me going, oh, she's just another realtor saying, go buy a house. Guess what? I bought a house about 4 weeks ago. You just have to buy smarter. And if you've got a great agent behind you that can talk strategies, I'd be happy to do it with you anytime. 828-240-9962. You buy smart. And that's things that you won't necessarily have access to if you're not an agent. What we're able to see. So if you're going to buy a house, particularly look for one with a basement and look for houses around it. This is just one strategy. Look for houses around it that are very similar, because we don't have that much of that in the mountains, so you have to know where to look, that have a finished basement. So then you look at the differential. And often those houses sell for $150,000, $200,000 more. Yes, really.
With a finished basement?
Yes.
Identical house?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So even if that house price goes down, so if you're talking about, let's look at the average price of a house, $450,000, and it has an unfinished basement. The house across the street, I can show you numerous examples of this, by the way. The house across the street, same house, sold for $650 with a finished basement. It's 1,800 square feet downstairs, same as upstairs. You can add, it's on city water and sewer, which means you can add 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms. It's 1,800 square feet downstairs. And then you could have, if you added 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, you'd have a 5-bed, get this, 5-bed, 3-bath house. And you bought it for $450. Now, you have to put money in to do that.
Right.
But if you do it right, you can do it for $35,000, $40,000. Now, that sounds like a lot of money because now you're at $495,000. But a lot of people are buying houses at $499,000, $500,000. So this way, now, okay, let's look at that again for a second. So you buy a house at $500,000 right now. If the market goes down, this is a smart strategy for you. If the market goes down, let's say it goes down 10%, you've got a loss of $50,000, right? And maybe you've mortgaged it up to the hilt on that point. Now, if it goes down 20%, you've gone down $100,000. Well, let's look at that picture again. You've bought the house at $450,000, and you've finished you've got money in it. Obviously, you've put the let's say $45,000 in it, or let's say $50,000. Let's say you go all out and do something crazy. And I've got all the contractors for you, by the way. A number of you did ping us last week. Just go to mountainhomehunt.com, mountainhomehunt.com. Contact us, and we might be a bit slower because it is Christmas after all. Yeah. We will send you a list of contractors. We can even have a go out to the contractors and have them call you. Perfectly happy to do that. If you're looking to remodel a bathroom, a kitchen, whatever it is, a basement that you're trying to do. I would caution you using this strategy if you've already got an unfinished basement, unless I can research that for you and get the prices of all the houses around you that have sold for more. Here's why that's important. So let's say you buy the one at $450,000 right now and you finish the basement. Well, the thing is, that one could be worth, and again, you have to call me. I don't know what it's going to be worth. I can give you a good idea based on what's sold around you. So the particular one that I looked at, for example, one had sold at $650,000. Now, the thing is, of course, we're going to go down 10% on $650,000, which means you lose $65,000. Then we're going to go 20% down on $650,000, which means you're going to lose $130,000, right? That sounds outrageous, right? Oh my gosh! But I hope you're following all these figures.
You got 500 in it.
I'm doing this in my head, by the way.
Yeah.
So you got $650,000. Let's do worst case scenario. You're gonna lose $130,000. So now, if you hold it for 7 years, you're not gonna lose $130,000.
Right.
Because statistically, over time, houses always increase. That's why people go, "Oh, my house has doubled in value. I've added 50% to the price of my house." Just go back to what it was worth in 2007, 2008, and then look at a 5% increase every year, because that's a high interest rate. That's a high increase, not an interest rate. It'd be nice if we could go back down to 5 right now. If you add it 5 over the 14 years it's been since then, it's even more than that. The 16 years since then. So 5 times 16, that's your percentage that your house has gone up. But statistically, you're only going up, 3 to 5% a year. You're not going up 30% a year. So put that out of your mind, unless you just hit it at the peak. And who wants to time all this stuff? We just want to buy a house, live in it, and not think we're going to go underwater. Most of us, right? That's how we feel. Even me as a real estate agent. So 3 off 2, 1 off 6. Okay, so you're now down to 520, right? So you 650. It was the value 6 months ago of your house with a finished basement next door. Does that make sense? So again, you've bought it at $450. The house with a finished basement is actually selling at $650. However, even right now, that $650 house is probably more like $620 or $600. It's already gone down, right? So now you're scared. Oh, well, your value is still at $520 because you've got probably more than that. Who knows? We don't know how much it's going to go down. So that means you've got a 5-bedroom, right? Because you put 2 bedrooms downstairs, 5-bedroom, 3-bath house.
3 bath, yeah.
It's all about the area you buy, and it's all about what you look at. So you pretty much know there aren't many 5 bedrooms out there, right? You've got all main level living, which many of you want. Maybe you can rent out the lower level long term. That's why basements are so great with an outside entrance. And it's not rocket science to put an outside entrance in, even if there's not one most of the time. And you just cap off the top of the stairs. A lot of people are doing this with Airbnb as well. Actually, I did it in my previous home. The neighborhood allowed Airbnb, which was nuts. It was a high-end, very nice neighborhood. It's called Cheshire in Black Mountain. They actually allow Airbnb. So it's a beautiful little neighborhood. Even the little tree houses go for $800,000, but they allow Airbnb. It's amazing.
It is.
So now you're only at $520, but let's look at your investment. Your investment in it is $495, right? Even with your finished basement.
Right.
So you're still making a profit of $25,000.
Immediately.
Immediately, yeah. Even at the trough. So even if it goes down 20%,
that's right. Yeah,
you're still above water.
You're still above water.
Yeah, but I mean it's not much. Obviously, that's not
But
much.
those were the worst case scenario figures. Yeah. There's money to be made here.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Right. Not only that, you may be looking to buy a house. You may have 4 children. Right, or you may have a bunch of people living with you. Yeah. You may have your parents living with you. Yeah. Your kids may be coming home from college and living with you. You may need more bedrooms. So this is a way that you can do it without feeling too fearful. Now, if it dropped 30%, it might just wipe out that money. But here's the thing. You're probably not going to sell your house at the trough. If it's 20, so we're about to be 2023. Are you going to remember to put 20? At least we don't write checks anymore. 2023, when all of us used to forget all the time, and then the checks wouldn't go through because they had the wrong year on them. Yeah,
but that don't happen anymore.
It's funny. We were talking to our 15-year-old Gavin last night, and we were watching. Was it Die Hard or I don't know, Randy? You have to text me now to tell me which movie we were watching when we saw this.
Movie titles.
Well, I can't remember. We've been watching all these Christmas movies, and yes, apparently Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And he was smoking in the airport. And Gavin's like, he's smoking in the airport. And Randy said, yeah, he used to be able to smoke on planes. And Gavin's 15. He goes, huh? Yeah, it's just unfathomable. Oh, can you imagine smoking on a plane?
I got out of the store somewhere and I heard the Salvation Army bell ringing. And I immediately, I never have cash anymore. I never have cash. So you go in the store and you get some cash back and you come back and make a contribution. That's the moral of the story. But the moral of the story is I never have cash anymore.
I wonder how much less money they get these days. If I have cash, I've got a $20 bill.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. Well, I might do $20. I wouldn't be able to afford to do that normally.
Right, right.
Especially as, honestly, we just as a real estate agency, you get hit up like daily for charity causes, and we're at about $850,000 now that we've given back to local teachers, police, firefighters, healthcare professionals, veterans, and I feel like that's our charitable contribution. It's like, how many places can you put your money?
I agree wholeheartedly. $850,000 through the Homes for Heroes program. That is an amazing nationwide program that you're a part of here,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
mountainhomesforheroes.com if you want more information. We give you 30% of our commission. That is an average check of about $3,500 back. It pays your closing costs in most cases.
At closing, it shows up on the closing statement. It's right there.
Actually, they've changed the system for some unknown reason. The powers that be that run it, and they send you a check. It's a reduction off. If you're listing, you still get that discount. It's a reduction off the listing price.
Okay.
We do ask you to do CPO for that. That's where you do a minimum an inspection. You can pad it out even more by offering home warranty. Occasionally we do an appraisal. We're not really doing that right now. So that's all part of it. But, the vast majority of our sellers do it. We've had 2 sellers not do it this year, especially at the higher price points. And both of them, they had contracts that drop out. That can be a sad result of it. One was at $800,000. We did the inspection for the buyers. When some buyers came in, they were cash buyers at $800,000. They dropped out because of the inspection. He ended up selling 3, 4, 5 months later, so it was on the market all that time. And he really wanted to get out of the house and move on with his life as well. And he ended up taking almost $100,000 less. So that $450 inspection, I mean, these are real stories. I don't make this stuff up.
I totally agree with. I understand what you're saying. It makes perfect sense.
Another one. It was another high-end one, $800,000, a little bit further out there, and that one dropped out twice because of the inspection. Because we didn't do the inspection up front, yes. So when you do what we do is we do the inspection up front, and everybody's like, "Oh, you can't do that. You'll have all these listings with problems." Well, the problems are there. They're not going away. We just don't want to discover the problems when we're under contract.
Yeah.
We don't just put the inspection out there for anyone to see. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to pay for anything if you don't want to. If you want to correct some of the items on there, then usually you can get that done for $200 or $300. It's thousands of dollars the buyers are going to ask you for, especially now the market's shifting to a buyer's market. So buyers very commonly now are asking for $5,000, $10,000 off the list price. You're under contract. You've got your boxes packed. You know, you're thinking you've got your kids in the new schools. You've got the moving truck booked. So you're like, okay, give them $10,000 off. Don't do that. Just do your inspection up front.
$450.
Right. And if you're thinking about listing in the spring or sometime soon, do it now. I can put you in contact with all the right people who can do it for you. So let's look again. If you're scared now, because I've said go out and buy that $450,000 house and put the extra bedrooms in there. First of all, you got to buy it right. And secondly, if you're selling it in 3.5 to 5.5 years, that's what we call the trough. It's the bottom. So we have a recessionary period. It's normal. And we go down to the bottom. Maybe we'll go down 5%. Maybe we'll go down 30%. We just don't know. The fact is, if you wait it, that's statistically 3.5 to 5.5 years' time. If you're going to hold out for the 7 to 11 years, that's at the peak again. So we're back to, if it were worth $650 with that finished basement, it's probably going to, and again, this isn't a crystal ball. This is basing it on facts that were there before. It's going to be worth more like $700 at that point. So now you've got, let's say you've really, bust your piggy banks open and you've got $500 in it. Remember, you bought it for $450. You finished out the basement, and yes, I can show you how to do it for $50,000. By the way, these aren't empty words. I've done 42 of these in San Diego, in Miami, here. I've done. I'm on my 43rd now, so I've done a lot of them. I know what I'm talking about here. And yes, prices have gone up. Blah blah blah. So now you'll have bought this house, and you'll have $500,000 in it. Most likely, that $500,000 house, as long as we get the figures right, this is not just any old house in any old neighborhood with, no comps or any old comps around, comparable sales around it. This is the right house that we can help you find. So now you've turned $450, you waited out for 7 years, you've turned it into $700, and you've had a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house to live in for that period of time. I just realized it's classic for anybody that has kids that are going to high school here. So 7 to 11 years, what's 7 off graduating?
Exactly.
Right? So It's an 11-year-old. So if it's an 11-year cycle, that's 4 years earlier. So if you've got kids between 7 and 11 and you need more space, let us help you with that. They might have to share bedrooms while we're finishing it out. Or the great thing is, in my home when I sold it, I got 5 months on the back end. And it wasn't the hot sellers market that I was selling in, because it was a couple of years ago. So I got 5 months. That means that I got the money. I sold my house, I got the money, and I stayed in the house for 5 months. It is possible. It's definitely possible for a month or two. So you could be in your house that is busting at the seams right now, and you're like, we've got these kids that are between 7 and 11, and we need some more space. Their friends are coming over. We need some more space. They're having sleepovers. And we could find you, I bet you any money, that house between $450 and $500. You could stay in your house for, let's try and buy you 90 days. You've already got 6 weeks waiting for the new one to close. Let's try and buy you 90 days. Most of the basement could be finished out at that point, and you've got another 2 bedrooms and another bath. You've already got 3 bedrooms upstairs and a bath. Those are the classic ones that we find.
It's genius. I mean, that's genius thinking.
Your owner's suite is on the main level. Your garage very often is on the main level, not always, but on the main level. You've got main level living, so think ahead here, guys. So how old is somebody with a 7 to 11-year-old? Let's say they had them at 30. So late 30s, mid 40s.
Yeah.
Right, so I want you to think ahead here. And if you've got adult children that are this age as well, share this strategy with them. So that means late 30s, mid 40s. I mean, heck, some of them, you're in your 50s with a 7 to 11-year-old.
Sure.
Maybe, especially the guys, maybe they had a child later.
Second marriage, whatever.
Second marriage, yeah, and had children later. So and many people at that age aren't thinking about when their kids have left home. In fact, they don't want to think about that, right, when their kids go off to college.
That's right.
So at that point, you're going to be in a $650,000, $700,000 house. Your kids are going to be off to college, and you're going to be at the point of saying, wow, this house is too big for us. Kids are off to college. What are we doing in this great big house? Now you've got a $700,000 house. 7 to 10 years, you're going to, let's say you had a $450 mortgage, right, on that. A $450 mortgage, you've got some money in the bank. By the way, you can also get a special mortgage to remodel that house. There's a special mortgage to remodel where the bank will lend you the money to remodel, so you don't have to find the money to do it even. Oh my gosh, what? Mm-hmm. And then, yes, you can refinance it in a couple of years or 6 months when the interest rates go down, 4 months or whatever it is. So let's do that math for a minute. I wish Cameron were on the line. He could do the math for us. But let's say you pay down the mortgage $200,000. We're talking about 11 years' time. Especially a lot of people are doing 15 and 20-year mortgages at this point. If you can afford it, absolutely. Always look at that option because you'll be surprised how much little more it is. Most people tell you, oh, just make the extra payment or extra payment once a month. Well, here's the problem with that strategy. Most of us don't do it. I've taken that. In other words, get a 30-year mortgage and pay the extra payment. There's all kinds of ways of doing it. Just Google, how do I pay my mortgage quicker? Problem is the vast majority of people do not do it. So if you pay an extra couple of $100 a month, often you'll find that's the difference between a 30-year and a 15-year mortgage, depending on the price of the home. It's shocking how much little more it is. So do think about that. So, okay, let's just say you've paid let's go $150,000. You've now got $300. It's probably going to be more than that you've paid down. Let's say it's $250. So now you're in a home that you've got a $250,000 mortgage on. It's worth, even conservatively, because it's worth $650 now. $650 now. It's sold at $650. I can show you an example of this in Arden, which is a very popular area south of Asheville. So, and I can show you more examples of it. It just takes some digging if this is something you're interested in. So now you've got a $250,000 mortgage. You're in a house that conservatively is worth $750. This is 7 to 11 years' time. That you're going to walk with $500,000. If, depending on which administration we've got in, $500,000 as a married couple is the maximum amount that you can make without paying capital gains tax on your primary house. Did you know that?
And you've lived in this beautiful, roomy home.
Yes, with all the sleepovers. And many people want to be the home that all the other kids in the neighborhood come over to, right?
Yeah, kids love the basement.
Well, the basement and in this particular neighborhood I'm talking about, there's a pool, there's tennis courts, there's all that stuff. It's not gated, so you're not paying all those. The HOA fees are relatively low. There are not sidewalks, however. I should do a trivia prize on who can guess the neighborhood. But that could be the type of house in any of those neighborhoods that I hear many parents particularly wanting to be that home that they want the kids to come to, rather than their kids going to somebody else's home that fits the bill. Although I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that go, no, let the kids go to somebody else's house, right? But how nice. How are you sitting pretty, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, do you realize what a 401k or pension plan this is?
It's with an incredible return.
Right. And here's the thing. So yes, it means you have to do some work, and many people don't want to do the work. That's why they're not looking at these houses that need a little remodeling. I'm remodeling one right now where I'm taking a wall down. That sounds pretty major, but it really isn't if you know what you're doing. Remember, I've done 43 of these. I'll help you. I'm painting the cabinets. I'm putting modern hardware on them. I'm putting a countertop in. So the kitchen, the countertop's probably $3,000. The painting, let's say we're at $5,000
total
for the kitchen. Yeah, maybe $6,000 with the wall coming down. And I want to do the floors anyway because it's a mixture of wood and carpet and tile. So I'm doing all the floors. That's the biggest expense. So I'm currently at this is upstairs, right? So I'm at $5,000. I'm doing all the floors, which I can probably do for $10,000. I'm taking all the old carpet up that's been there for 20 years. Which is a lot of our houses, right?
Well, of course, it's ready to go, man.
I know a house right now that has carpet missing. They took the carpet up and they're like, we're not going to replace it because we're selling our house. And there's just a hole in the hardwood waiting for whatever it is that you want to do in that space. So now I'm at $5,000 for the kitchen, $10,000 for the floors. That's about it. I might just frame out the owner's, we can't say master's bedroom anymore, you know that, the owner's closet a little bit. So let's say I'm at $20,000 upstairs. You don't have to remodel upstairs is the thing. There's really nothing about it. The kitchen's relatively, well, it's 10 years old, but it's got European hinges. I could put some new hardware on there for $200 and be done, honestly. You don't have to do anything else. However, you'd be moving into a house then that was completely remodeled in a great area with great schools. I can't tell you which of the great schools. I'm not allowed to because I have a real estate license, but I can give you links on where to find that. And I've got 5 bedrooms.
5 bedrooms?
I'll have 5 bedrooms with the additional downstairs.
Wow.
And that house, I would put money on the fact, and this is conservative, that house will be worth, if it's worth $650 now, you've got to say in 10 to 11 years, it's going to be $700. Now, will the price go down in 2 years? Absolutely. But if I'm living in it, or I've sold it already, or I rent it out, I'm holding it for that period of time.
That's great.
I mean, you as a family could walk with $500,000 in cash. But you could buy your next home. You could go and buy your next home. You'll probably be what we call right-sizing at that point. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, your kids are off at school. You probably still want some room for them to come home. By the way, most of them don't. Shock horror. They just come home for the holidays.
Really?
That's what Airbnb next door is for. Because there's a lot of those these days. Or you can still buy a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom and 2-bath. It's just going to be a smaller home. So you're still going to have those extra bedrooms. And, you know, here's the ucky bit. You're going to be 41 or in your mid-50s at that point with children of that age now. Shocker, right? But how quickly does 7 to 11 years go, Randy?
Oh, whew. Like that. Woo.
I know. It's amazing, right? So this is particularly important if you're in your 50s or 60s now, because you're not likely to see these prices for 7 to 11 years. So if you've got that big house, get through the holidays, give us a call, 828-333-4483. Just look up Rowena Patton. I'm all over the place. But take that number down too, because it cost me about $50 from Google when you look
it up.
Yeah, on Google and hit that call thing. That's how much it costs. So yeah, just 828-333-4483. You listen to the show anyway. You're probably getting properties from me at this point, as many of you are, and you know it's well worth doing. If you're not ready yet, that's fine too. If you're in your 50s or 60s or late 40s or 70s or 80s, if maybe you've got an estate that there's been willed to you and you've been sitting on it all year wondering what to do with it. I'm talking about real life stories here of a lot of people I've met this year. It's just, unfortunately, it's life. You know, you may be divorced like me. You may be hanging on to that house, which I did for about 3 years, which frankly was a big mistake. It stopped me moving on for those 3 years while I went into hibernation for a while. Then, you know, I just want you to think about the fact it's going to be 7.5 to 11 years, 7 to 11 years statistically, until you see the prices where they're at now. You've still got time. We're in a very strange market where there's very few rooftops. Heather's calling in, which is a bit of a shocker because it means she's calling in from Mexico. So this girl's got work ethic. This is my listing partner. And, oh my gosh, I'm going to go right over because I think she's on vacation still. Tell me you are not calling in from Mexico, my darling.
We just lost her.
Well, she's calling in from Mexico, so we'll let her off.
Yeah.
She's probably calling in on WhatsApp, which is awesome.
Let's see if that's...
She's coming in again. Here she is. Can I pick it up right here?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Tell me you're not calling in from Mexico, young lady.
I am.
Oh, is this a girl with ethics or work ethics or what? This is my listing partner, Heather McCurry. She's amazing. We've had a wonderful year together listing homes. What would you say to people out there that are thinking about listing their home, Heather? Because you're going to be busy when you get home on Tuesday.
Am I? I have really put down my computer, and I have not been even looking at what's been going on in North Carolina, other than I hear that it's very, very, very frigid cold, and that we've got a lot of power outages, and they're having to do blackout zones up there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Stuff going.
We actually had someone call in to give a big shout out to Duke for getting it back on this morning in Hendersonville. It was lovely.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that we are friends with that work for Duke Power, and that is a big shout out to them, trying to keep everybody up through the holiday season, and the linemen that are out there freezing their tails off trying to keep everything happening.
Yes, exactly.
As far as listing your home goes, the holidays are almost over, and everybody that was out there waiting for the holidays to be over to list your home, well, tomorrow's the day.
Yeah,
Merry
really.
Christmas to everybody up there. And then we've got 2023 coming in, so, what better way to start it than, to turn the page and start a new chapter.
Yeah, really. And you can still get top price for your home, and you're really out of luck these days because you get a twofer. Heather and I will come out and see you and do our comedy act as well as get your home listed, or we'll just talk to you about what it means to list it in 6 months' time. Really, we're not pushy. We'll just give you the facts as they are, and you get to be in the driving seat and make the decision. And I want to give a shout out to Dwayne here, because Dwayne, who's Heather's lovely husband, absolute sweetheart, he had his 60th birthday, and the whole family's there celebrating.
Happy birthday, Dwayne.
How cool is that?
That was back in October, but this is something that he wanted to do, and so we decided that we would make it a Christmas /60th / whatever we could do kind of celebration. So he wanted to go scuba diving for his 60th birthday, and we were supposed to get that in, and that is scheduled for Monday. Today it's very windy, so a lot of the ports are closed, so getting over to Cozumel and stuff like that wouldn't happen today. So.
Sounds so nice, though, all that sunshine.
Cozumel, I love it.
Let's give a shout out to Keela and Darian and Patrick, who were there with you as well, having to put up with their parents on vacation. Are you having a great time, Heather?
We are. We've had a really good time. We went over to, and they're going to make me say it. It's Isla Harris. It's anyways. Whatever.
It's the island of the woman. Yeah, absolutely. And that's where Tyler went. You know that Tyler also on our team.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know exactly where he was. I tried to send him a Snapchat on our way over and say, exactly what island are you on? And we were on our way leaving. He snapped me back and he told me, and I was like, I'm getting on the boat now and leaving. So,
my gosh.
He goes, wouldn't it have been really cool if we would have met up? And I was like, yeah, well, I tried. You were the one that was in the water. He sent me a picture of him and some big fish. I don't even know. But, yeah, so
some big fish.
I love it. People everywhere in the world, right?
It's amazing. I cannot believe you called in. I mean, I'm telling you, this woman has amazing work ethic. You've been a great partner all year. Thank you. And I so look forward to 2023 with you. And while you're away, the only bit of work I want you to do is to set a goal for what we're going to do next year. And when we hit that goal, we're going to take the team there. We'll have a team outing for the week. The whole team's going to go. What do you think to that?
Woo!
The whole team. That sounds like that could get pricey. We better make sure we do it all-inclusive. Yeah.
But that's about the goal. So you set the goal, what we need to do to hit.
All-inclusive.
Right, and when we hit that goal, the whole team will go. I've done this before. I did it in the UK. I took my entire team and all their spouses to Prague.
Yeah, we got to take Alondra when we come over here. We've done really well. There's a lot of people that work here that speak Spanish or English, very well. A lot more than I expected. This morning we had one, and if I understood her correctly, which I might not have, today is Feliz. Say it, Dwayne. Feliz Nadia. Say it, Ro.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah. It's their Christmas. Yeah, it's their Christmas.
Feliz Navidad. You can just sing it. It's much easier.
anyways, it's their Christmas here today, if I understood her correctly, even though it's ours tomorrow.
Alondra, I hope you're listening, because you have to call in and fill us in on that. Maybe that should be our trivia today.
I could be wrong, Alondra, I could be wrong, but she did not speak English, but for thank you and more.
Well, a shout out to Alondra too. She's been amazing.
Yeah.
She was the
Alondra's a baby.
She was there with Bob yesterday in the office. They're going to be there again on Monday. She's totally holding down the fort. So a big shout out to those guys.
She is a workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
She will show up. She is there. I mean, she doesn't mind to, even if she's alone in the office, because we're all out doing our thing.
I think she likes that.
Always a smiling face when you walk in the door.
She really is, and she's everybody on the team, fully licensed agents, and everyone has a work ethic. We stay small on purpose. We don't want to be, 50 agents or 100 agents. We stay small on purpose because we all have an incredible work ethic. And thank you again, Heather. I've been so blessed to work with you in this last year, and we're gonna.
You're the one that talked me into this, kind of, sort of. I think it was the all-star name that kind of pulled me into the sway of being a part of a team, trying to figure, out how that looks. You get one agent, and sometimes it doesn't go as smoothly as if you have a bunch of people working to try to help you through the trials and tribulations of selling or purchasing a home.
Yeah,
everybody has a little knack and a specialty that they bring to the table.
And you brought a lot to the table when you joined. You hadn't been in real estate before, but you'd bought and sold a bunch of homes and remodeled them, and you've got a great angle on all of that. Do you feel like you've learned anything in the last year?
Oh, my God. I don't even think that's a fair statement. Have I learned anything? The question is, I've learned so much, I probably can't even make a list. It's the retaining part. I've retained so much that when something comes about, I actually can answer it and normally know what to do in situations.
Yeah.
But like sitting down and making a list of it, and it's a life lesson.
Yeah.
There's so many life lessons, and I think Carson, another shout out to Carson,
yes,
through the life lessons that he's been through as a buyer's agent in the last couple of months. He's become expert in a lot of stuff in the field of, helping people buy homes.
Absolutely.
The trials and the tribulations that go on, that even people that are selling are unaware that their homes might even have,
especially septic,
issues.
Right? So Carson's our septic expert. We have to give a shout out to Barbara as well, who joined us to do our transactions and our listings, as well as, who am I missing? Patrick as well. Patrick. Yeah.
Patrick,
oh my gosh.
He's your co-host normally. Like if you go away, Patrick will definitely step in and do a show for you. And he's held down, and he's been through he's had a tough year.
He's had a really, really tough year, and somehow he's held it together. I'm so proud of him. He's an amazing guy. Clients love him. And big shout out to our team. Bob, who just joined us as well. He joined us because he attended one of my classes, I don't know, 10 years ago or something in Hendersonville. And he said, I think it's time to get on a team. Things are getting tougher in real estate, and I want to be in a place where, I get a salary. We offer a salary. We offer hourly. We offer earn while you learn. Heather, my darling, Go back to your family. I love you. You've been an amazing partner this year. Let's look forward to 2023. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Randy.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
We'll see you on New Year's Eve.
This has been the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton. Visit Rowena and post your questions at radioasheville.com or call her at 828-210-1648.